Hey, Richest, you money maniacs, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about why you should never piss off a trucker. Let's get right to it. Hey, Richest, you money maniacs, welcome back. Tom coming at you. In this video, it's important to understand why you should never piss off a trucker. And I'm not just talking about the fact that you're on the highway making someone who's carrying 40 tons of weight behind them angry when they're tired, hungry, maybe they have to go to the bathroom, or maybe they're on something to keep themselves awake for 24 hours straight. Not that kind of pissed off. I'm talking about government policy pissed off. I'm talking about taking away feeling safe, delivering things in cities, making it dangerous to do the job pissed off. Trucking firms actually try to scrape a living by subsisting on a 1% or less net profit. So for anybody who doesn't understand the difference between gross profit and net profit, gross profit for a company is how much money they bring in sales or services total, before you take away the cost of actually producing something or having a business or having an office or producing products or driving a truck across the entire country. So net profit is what's left over after for a trucker. You pay for licenses and permits and carb regulations and all the different things for filtering your exhaust and all of the different, incredible expenses like tires and brakes and gasoline and the insurance to run them. And oh yeah, you got to pay the drivers too, and of course they're valuable, skilled labor. So you got to pay them well or they go elsewhere. I mean, the cost that's involved in freight is insane. And so what they really do is they hope to make profit by dealing in volume. You deal in large amounts of freight moving all across the country. Now, these are the guys who take stuff from a train or a boat that comes into a port or a train that can't finish taking the stuff in, and they drive it either a few hours or several days across the entire country or into a city or into wherever. And I'm not just talking about big diesel truck drivers. I'm talking about delivery truck drivers too. These are the people that you don't want to make angry, right? Because they're the ones who are delivering everything for you folks that are buying everything online because you're all locked down for your own safety. When you make these people angry, your food stops coming, your gas stops coming, things get turned off because, well, there aren't parts to fix them and they're not being delivered. So think about that. The backbone of this economy, the backbone of the country, is the ability to move goods and services around. And much of that happens with the trucking industry. So when you make them angry, you have the distinct possibility of shooting yourself in the foot. And that's actually how a lot of the Democrat Party right now thinks. And I'm only saying them, not because I'm anti-democratic. I'm just only saying that because they're the ones pissing them off. So let's go to this wonderful article that we found and let's read it and think about this just for a second, shall we? So the article is from the roundtablereport.com and it's called Green New Deal, ? No deal, say truckers, November strike. A group of independent truckers, Stop the Tires Truckers, has called for a strike today, Veterans Day, and possibly the end of November as well. The group's statement says, "We will not participate in the leftist Biden-Harris Green New Deal. We do not support the banning of fracking. The United States of America operates as a capitalistic economy and oil is the fuel she survives on. With this being said, we will stop all tires for 24 hours on Veterans Day, 11/11/20. If this is not effective and our leaders do not respect that blue-collar truck drivers are having to face domestic terrorism, primarily in Democrat-run cities all over the United States, and that we do not support the banning of fracking in any way, then we will have our second stop of tires for 4 full days, 11/26/20 through 11/29/20. They are specifically asking truckers carrying medical supplies to not strike. They're upset about the election, and they should be. Biden is talking about shutting down the fuel they depend on. There is no alternative. If Biden enacts every part of the Paris Climate Accord, as Macron has done, it will have the same effect as a trucker strike. He'll keep stuff from moving as well. That's the whole point. That's what Macron was doing. He was shutting down people being able to commute to work. Report David Knight on 11/10/2020's show. That's what the yellow vest protests in France were all about. Yellow vests were something they were required to have in their cars for safety. They put on the vest to identify as motorists when they protested. A lot of people have sent me videos of truckers saying they're going to shut this down, said Knight. In the first video Knight played, a trucker said, "We brought you toilet paper and the gas to heat your house." Everybody was howling at night for the first responders, but we've been out here in the middle of this pandemic the whole time. How do you thank us? You close down the restaurants we eat at, then our rest stops. In Wyoming, they're talking about not even plowing the roads this winter because they can't afford it. Another video shows a different trucker saying, "We'll be holding a union truck meeting tomorrow. We'll be discussing all kinds of viewpoints about everything. I have 178 trucks. I stopped my complete fleet. They are all parked." In another video, another trucker warns, "The word is November 29th. November 29th, we park them and we don't move." Knight comments, "I hope the truckers understand that this agenda goes beyond just this election. The transportation industry is going to be eviscerated by self-driving cars. They want to get rid of all truckers and car drivers as well. They want to control everything, including cars, which means they don't want drivers. In a couple of years, they're going to have more than 50% unemployment in the trucking industry. The plan is to replace with autonomous vehicles and drones. Both truckers and regular motorists need to understand that the plan is to take away your fuel. Trump was supportive of the fact that we need fuel. In the 70s, when OPEC sent a shock through the economy, we all saw how devastating it is to lose the ability to move. The people who lived through that know we don't want to go through it again, but it's precisely what these young Marxist Green New Dealers want." Knight concludes, "You have less than 20 days. It's going to take a long time to get the supply chain up once they shut down, depending on how long they shut down. This is what we have to look forward to." This is especially important to me personally because I had an in-law, a father-in-law in my life who actually owned a trucking company. And I saw how hard he worked and how little he made for how hard he worked and how it was such a strain on his body to be in a truck for that long. And so the idea of diminishing the value of what these people do and how hard they work is just disgusting to me. However, I do understand the motivation to be able to control everything, to be the ultimate ruler of the universe and tell people when they can and can't move and can't take a dump, and when they can and can't go and buy at this store, or when they can and can't go see a movie. It would be so much fun to just be able to tell everybody what to do, wouldn't it? You'd be ultimately powerful. You'd have control of the entire world at your fingertips. And then what? You're still a piece of crap anyway. Doesn't matter how much of the world you control, you're still just you. So think about this when you're watching this video and you're wondering, how does this help me master my finances? That's a really great question. Look at the trucking industry and look at what the demand and the need is, and find a way to supply that need. There is a need right now to help these truckers keep moving, to help show that they're important to us. There's a whole bunch of different ways it could be done, and there's a whole bunch of businesses that could rise out of it. Now, that does not mean that electric trucks aren't wonderful and won't come along and will help in this type of situation. It does not mean that new technology or even autonomous trucks can help in this situation. The trick here is, right, to make sure that it doesn't become a centralized government planned monopoly, because the government never, ever gets anything right. There isn't one single program that has ever been a government program that has functioned and actually did what it was supposed to do. They always have a negative reaction from the free market, from the world. It doesn't matter how much free money you give away. The welfare state has destroyed everybody's imagination, motivation, willingness to work. Everybody wants everything handed out now. Free this, free that, free income. Because I'm alive, because I exist, you owe me. Who owes you? Everyone seems to forget that you're the one that's going to be paying the bill, or at least people who work will be the ones paying the bill. So when these truckers decide to stop, you need to take it seriously. You may actually want to get some extra food for those days and stock up, because things are going to go scarce. If you don't have a freezer to stock up, you better think about getting a freezer before this. Hopefully you see this video before it happens, because you can be sure it is going to have a ripple effect across the economy. So think about what business you're looking at or thinking about buying or investing in. God forbid that you're in the stock market right now. My Lord, please don't do that. But if you're looking at ways to make money, think about the ripple effect of these truckers stopping deliveries of anything. What if you're trying to do e-commerce and it's all drop shipping? Oh, didn't think of that. What if you're trying to open a restaurant and you can't get food? Oh, didn't think of that. What if you wanted to open a liquor store, but you can't get delivery of the liquor? Oh, didn't think of that. Yeah, didn't think of that, huh? What happens when everything shuts down because the truckers aren't delivering and no one's making money and no one's doing business, and everybody has agreed that the best thing to do for this health challenge is to just shut everything down and lock us up in our own homes, and nobody's producing anything? Guess what? Nothing happens. Nothing happens, which means no food, no gas, no clothes, no electricity, nothing. Oh, well, that's not true. I should be honest. Because of crony capitalism, and because this is how socialism and Marxism actually works, in case you didn't know this, if you're friends with the right people in government, you'll be deemed essential, like Amazon. Isn't it convenient that all these big corporations are able to stay open and make money? But everybody that has a small business, well, you're not essential. We don't need you. But my friend over here, Jeff Bezos, he's my friend, and he's essential. We need to make sure that people can get all the things they need. Well, you know what? Even Amazon may have a real hell of a time delivering because they can't get the products that they want to sell to people online. That's what truckers can do. And that's why you should never piss off the truckers. You should always thank them for the hard work and good work that they do day in and day out for all you schmucks out there who just sit around and wait for your free income and wait for your free health care and wait for your free college because you're so special. Your mom and dad told you were special. You should believe that you're special. So keep that in mind when you think about making truckers angry and not showing appreciation for the hard work they do. Because remember something, this is the United States of America. Slavery is illegal. They are not slaves. And if they quit, you're screwed. Well, I hope that you found this video informative, maybe even inspiring to take action. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. But while you're thinking about whether it's worth thumbs up and whether it's worth subscribing, please do yourself a huge favor and think long and hard about how important those truckers are. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.